Welcome to the Wine Find Talks. Today we have a very special guest with us, Duncan from Grupo Peñaflor in Argentina. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for hosting me. A pleasure to be here.
Now, Grupo Peñaflor, that's the umbrella term. That's the holding company, if you like, for a lot of different brands and wineries in Argentina.
Correct.
So what are some of those wineries?
Amongst those wineries, Trapiche, which is very well known in Canada, together with Finca Las Moras. Another winery is called Mascota Vineyards, and El Esteco. Those are the most renowned.
Well, I love those. I know those wineries very well, and I love their portfolios. Now, one of the things that I think sets you apart is not only that you're the largest producer in Argentina, but that you express terroir really well. But what do you think sets those wineries apart from competitors?
Grupo Peñaflor within Argentina has over 8,000 planted acres, which are throughout all the different appellations. So that gives the opportunity to a winemaking team to kind of really try to express the terroir, the origin. And that's what we look with these wineries. Each one actually tries to transmit the area where it is, the terroir communicated in the wine.
I love that. I love the idea of transmission of terroir because, when that happens, people are drinking the wine and they're actually vicariously going there. I mean, they're drinking the place.
You're traveling. Most definitely you're traveling. When you see the wine, sometimes the colors and things like that, it really stands out from maybe other different appellations, and you can understand why that happens.
Okay, appellations. There's a specific appellation that's quite high altitude there called Salta, and I think that's what we're tasting today.
Correct.
Can you tell us about this wine, what it is?
Yeah, perfect. Salta is within a broader appellation called Cafayate Valley. Tough name to pronounce, but it's actually quite small. It's actually only 3% of the Argentine wine growing region. And what really stands out, sets apart the Cafayate Valleys from the rest of Argentina is the altitude. As you know, most of Argentine kind of wine growing areas are at the foothill of the Andes that run north to south across the entire country. And the Salta and the Cafayate Valleys are in the northern part.
So what are we tasting today?
So we're going to taste today El Esteco Malbec. This is estate grown. Actually comes from the vineyards of the winery, which are only just a few kilometers around. Actually, it's on the state and nearby. So we're going to taste the El Esteco Malbec 2021.
Let's taste. Beautiful. I love that wonderful dichotomy between richness and freshness.
It's absolutely, that's the idea. So you can see sort of you get red, dark fruit with a nice mouthfeel, but it's very delicate sort of tannins that make it very enjoyable, very sort of velvet in your mouth.
Yes.
And then it actually ends it with a certain freshness, sort of like it asks for another sip.
Yes. My palate's scraped clean. I love that freshness. And it's interesting how you're talking about the tannic expression being velvety. It is velvety, but not in the same way that California expresses a velvety, because there's no plushness. It's just some weight.
And there's a bit of that sort of tension of freshness, and it's because actually half of this is sourced from a vineyard that it's actually in the lower part of the valley of the state, which is more sandy soil, so it tends to be sort of more roundier. And another half actually sourced up from the highest vineyard, which actually is very shallow in soil and tons of rocks, and that gives us more of that tension.
I love tension in wine. I love tension in wine. It's one of those slippery terms that once people get tension,
you understand?
Then it's all you. Yes,
it sticks on you. No,
but great tension, tension. What's the kind of what I love about this too is it's cascading with all sorts of complexity. It's not just about fruit, is it?
Totally. I mean, you have the fruit, but then, I mean, actually what winemaking team does it, 80% of this undergoes oak treatment. So it's actually for 12 months, but it's used oak casks or fullers, sort of like big 6,000 liter sort of wood tanks. Okay. And another 20% keeps going on a concrete. So you then also keep some of the freshness in the wine.
I love that because so many big reds are over oaked, and this lets us the fruit shine really.
Totally, and I think kind of like the last step is also having This then that undergoes that treatment, it has 6 months of bottle aging, and then it's released. So actually, when it gets to the consumers at home, it's actually totally kind of silky.
It is beautifully silky. That's a great description for the texture. So you're very familiar with this wine because it's in your portfolio.
Correct.
What do you, I'm sure you've had this wine with all sorts of things. What do you like to pair with it best?
I like it most with type of barbecue food, very typical from Argentina, but I actually feel it even you can sort of dare even with some kind of pasta because it's not so overwhelming, it's not dominating so hard because it's all this velvety feeling. So I can actually even have this with pasta. I also actually enjoy it.
Now the thing with pasta, you know, it's not always about the sauce.
Yeah.
So what would you, if you were to serve a pasta, what kind of pasta?
I'm thinking always about kind of more mushrooms, things like that. So going with it, I think it pairs very well.
I can imagine that. Wild mushroom pasta.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you. I love this. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be invited.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.